Rice back here with you, kind of talk about the power of being silent. I hope everyone's doing well during this quarantine, or I guess the first, second, third phase, wherever you are, of quarantine, come out of it. Hope you guys have a speedy and healthy recovery for all those being infected. For those dealing with loved ones, and first responders, the essentials. I thank you guys for your service. One of the talk that I want to give today is about the power of silence. And if you guys been following me, I've been talking about the book that I'm currently reading with 50 Cent, to Hustle Smarter. And I'm in the chapter where he talks about when he's shooting a movie with Bruce Willis, and Bruce Willis is having that a group of actors, a cast, what have you, and he's speaking very quietly, or he's kind of reserved, and 50 Cent later on in the day or the evening, while he smokes a cigar with Bruce, and ask him, "Hey, why were you speaking quietly or whispering?" He's like, that's a form of getting people's attention and getting you point across. And I found that's a good topic to talk about, because a lot of people ask me, "Hey, Ronnie, why is it that you are silent on a lot of issues, whether it's political, whether it's social, whether it's about my family, whether it's personal, what have you?" And I have no problem. I'm an open book when it comes to regards to that. And anybody wants to talk about it, always feel free to DM me or to give me a call. So let's dive right into it. So for me, being silent has a lot of benefits. One, you don't allow a lot of people in your space, so people can't really knock you off your game when they kind of don't know all the things that are going on with you. And some people call it sneaking, some people call it holding back, some people are not being passionate. I call it being smart. Especially in today's society where everybody is a competition, everybody's trying to get one leg up, it's very important to kind of keep people on their toes, and also to keep things to yourself. So just three things I want to hit you with is when do you know to be silent, right? So for me, the first rule of thumb is, if you don't know what you're talking about, don't talk. Be silent. It's good. It's okay to listen. I find myself a lot of times, especially in law school, or being a lawyer, you see a lot of people what they call pontificating about subjects they really just aren't knowledgeable about. And a lot of times you make yourself look like a fool when you don't know the material that you're speaking of. Another reason why you want to when to know to be silent, is really to gain insight. If you want to know something about a person or about a subject matter, go seek out the expert and be quiet. Shut up. Listen to them, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think the know-it-all is overrated. One thing that Dr. Bruce Winston, who was my dissertation chair, told me a long time ago, the first rule of a PhD is that you know nothing, and it's true. And one of my favorite movies I talk about that I love to watch is Pulp Fiction with John Travolta and Samuel Jackson. And he talks about the known knowns, unknown knowns, known unknowns, and unknown unknowns. So there's a lot of stuff that I don't know from a physics standpoint or from biology standpoint, but as law, I have to use experience and things of that sort. So, when you're around somebody who knows more knowledge about material or the subject at hand, it's okay to be silent. Third reason why I tell you to be silent is give you time to process a retort. If you're in a dialogue or argument or discussion and you want to add value, if you listen long enough, that person will give you enough information where you can make a sound response. Okay. Second key point I want to talk about is silence is a form of an answer. Okay. A lot of the married folks out there are people who've been in long-term relationships or business relationship. You will know that it is being silent is a form of answer. Not just being quiet and not responding to a question, but allowing the other person to think. It's not silence for me sometimes is when you're talking, if you don't know anything or somebody's trying to ask you something, it's okay for when you're quiet, they kind of know, all right, this person might not be knowledgeable. And a good person, a good business partner, a spouse might sense that and probably either change the subject or try to give you more knowledge about the subject. Sometimes people try to force you into something, right? So for me, silence is a response of, hey, after I've said what I have to say and I'm not budging on it, hey, it's okay. I'm not trying to force the conversation, try to force anything, but don't try to force anything on me. And sometimes people want to keep you talking, keep you engaged, to try to force you into a decision. And silence is a way for them to understand that you can't be forced, especially when it comes to major decisions. It's okay. And the third thing that I find, the power of silence is different ways to be silent. Uh, I'm not just talking about verbally. I'm talking about, physical. Okay, putting your poker face on. Uh, I think sometimes people say things to try to get you to be uh, fired up or try to get emotion or rise out of you, and not holding your composure is a way for you uh, to show like, hey, like I know what I'm talking about. I know that what I don't know. And so for me, that's a way for me being silent. Also, being silent give me time to reflect on the topic. Let me, like I said before, process it. Let me see where are we going with this. Like what am I even want to gain with this conversation or with this meeting, this board meeting? Now, I'm reading this book called 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, and it talks about you can sometimes just ignore a person. Um, and I find I don't use that often, but I do use it sometimes when I feel, especially with the client or somebody who wants to be a client of mine, and they're telling me all this stuff, they're telling me all this background of the issue that they're trying to solve from a legal perspective, and say, hey, Ronnie, XYZ, and I already gave him my advice, my free consultation or whatever. Well, actually, it's not free. Not my consultations are free, but and once they give it to them, they try to, bogart their way into being a client of mine, which is, I guess is a great problem to have, because that means that, I'm adding some type of value, right? But a lot of times you don't want to take on all clients. I mean, people, a consultant or medical doctors, you have those clients who come in, 20, 15 times, about the same issue, even though you've kind of given them and told them, hey, this was going on. So for me, that's what I love about silence. I don't have to be the loudest person in the room. I don't have to always have to, project myself. I don't have to, boast on my degrees or my experience. Silence for me is allowed to gather intel. Also, it lets me know a lot of things about people around me, especially people I want to go in business with, right? Or a spouse. You let them ramble on, they kind of tell you, some of the things that they probably didn't mean to tell you, because they call themselves one event or whatever. And I'm not trying to, and please don't take this as me trying to manipulate or say you need to manipulate a person. But I think a lot of times when we're at a clash, especially with a lot of things that are going on right now, when you're in a clash with a lot of political and social issues, I think everybody wants to talk. Everybody wants to say something. And I get it. You want your voice to be heard. But sometimes it's good to be quiet. So my 3 points I just want to recap with you on is know when to be silent. Silence is a form of answer. And there's multiple different ways of being silent. It's just not verbal. It could be, non-verbal, behavioral. So once again, I hope that this video helps you out. I hope that those who are watching, whether it's, this week or next month, next year, I hope whoever's watching this gain some insight to kind of help you with whatever it is that you got going. Once again, follow me, subscribe. Follow me at Get Rice Now. That's GETRICENOW. I'd love to hear from you. Go in the comments, DM me. If you have any questions, whether it's legal, business, investment, let me know.